said, I'm Ruth Ann Dunham with First Mortgage. Did you say something else, Tim?
Sorry, it's just, I just turned on the recording. I forgot to hit.
Oh, okay. I'm a traditional lender in most days, on most days, but I do a lot of creative things that will help investors, and that is usually the down payment assistance that I provide. Some of the cities have only 5,000, some of them have 20, some of them have 40 or 50, depending on the city. And I can get those funds for people to buy your properties that you're flipping, or help, you know, in any way that you need me to do that. I can also refinance your properties you're trying to get out from under. And I have creative products, like now I have an ITIN program. I can do interim financing. I can do, if someone hadn't been on the job long enough and they can't buy your house because they haven't been there 6 months, I can close them now and then refinance them once they've been on the job long enough. Things like that. So nothing like hard money. We have a sponsor for that. But if it's something else creative, let me know and I'll see if I can do it. And if not, I can probably point you in the right direction. I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth Ann. And she made a good point there. I do encourage you to use the chat box. So you're welcome to put in your name, phone number, email, and what you do into the chat. And that, since we can't meet in person, shake hands and exchange business cards, that's my way of continuing with the networking in the group, doing it virtually. I know some people don't allow that. I do, and I encourage it. You can put it in the chat, what it is you're looking for, what you're buying, what services you have, things like that. So I encourage you to go ahead and do that, and share that with everybody. So before I forget this too, I made a new background here. Just wondering what everybody thinks of it. I'm starting to get into QR codes. I'm playing with QR codes a lot and trying to make it easy for mobile users to do different things. This particular one is a contact us QR code. So if you have a need to reach out to us, want to talk about the website, want to talk about mentoring, anything like that, scan that QR code. You're going to see a lot more of that from me in the future, but I'm just curious what you think of the background, trying different things and stuff. So does it work? Okay, cool. So just keep in mind that is the rather than using links, that is a contact us QR code there. So okay, right now we don't have any other sponsors on the call. Welcome, Robbie, and I think this might be your first time to this call. Anybody attend the Equity Trust, IRA, and rental properties call last night? Was that good or what? I've been an Equity Trust user client for many years and done a lot of deals in the IRA and lend money in the IRA and borrow money from other investors through IRA, and they have a lot of great strategies. They come up, they put a lot of money in technology. The new one I heard last night, this is a big plus for you, for those of you that may not have caught this, but they have a new expense card. In the past, we had to, when you do a deal in an IRA, all your income and expenses have to go through that IRA. And in the old days, we'd have to request money, they'd send a check. Then they went to online bill pay, where you could go log into your account and pay the bill, initiate that bill through the website. Now they got that expense card. I just learned about that last night, a new thing to me. And that's going to be huge, because now you can pay that. My understanding is, I got to learn more, but my understanding is you can pay all your expenses, and you can set up a Venmo account and maybe some others right through your phone. You may not see that. I'm trying to hold up my phone there. But you can pay those expenses now through apps and using the technology out there. So what a great tool. And I'm looking forward to going and implementing that. So if you did not attend that call. I may be able to get that recording, but that was a great call last night. So, and John Bowen, he's their national educator. He teaches all over the country, and that guy is smart. He knows all the little tips and tricks for using your self-directed IRA and maximizing your tax advantages and stuff. So he's a great guy. I am working on getting him to either come or just do a call with the group in the future. So we've had him before. He's a great teacher. So, and he's an investor himself, so he knows all those strategies. It's like picking a CPA. Don't go pick a CPA that doesn't do real estate investing. You know, pick a CPA that's experienced investor, so he knows all the little tips and tricks for you. So anyhow, good stuff. And you know, by the way, this Saturday, if you haven't looked at the calendar yet, we have the same opportunity, only it's a tax and asset protection presentation workshop all day Saturday. So if you haven't gone to look at that and register for that, that's another free event, all day workshop. Anderson Advisors is doing that. They are the ones that put together my entities years and years ago, and they're great teachers as well. So you might want to go get registered for that and check it out. So, okay, so who's got a question? Again, this is an open mic thing. You're all welcome to unmute yourself. We have a small crowd here today, but please unmute yourself and let me know what kind of questions you have. Let's get some discussion going here.
Tim, I had a quick question about this Saturday's event. Is that going to be all virtual?
Yes. They are actually in Nevada. So
right.
It is an all-day virtual workshop.
And you've had no issues with them being in Nevada and you being in Texas as far as setting up?
Oh, no, they are structured to do business everywhere.
Perfect.
You know, my entities that they created are, these particular ones are Texas, but they have a lot of other creative tax strategies for doing Nevada entities and other states, depending on what you're trying to do. They do know what they're doing. There's no doubt in my mind. They've been around. I met them through Ron LeGrand 20 years ago, and they've done nothing but grow. So they are some smart dudes when it comes to tax law. Okay, who's next?
Hi guys, my name is Naja Roby. I am a local realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, looking to learn more about investments and that sort of thing. I am very new to this, so a lot of it is kind of like foreign language. I'm here to learn.
Okay, well, welcome to the call. Naja, is that how you say it, Naja?
Yes.
Welcome to the call. How'd you hear about us?
A friend referred me to you guys, and I just registered and created an account and saw that there was a training coming up and hopped right in.
Cool. Are you the one that met Lexington?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly, that was my referral. She's amazing.
Oh, she is. She
yes.
is so bubbly and full of energy and so nice.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
She just told me about you just a few minutes ago. So.
Oh, okay, nice.
Well, welcome to the group.
Nice to meet you guys.
And
thank you.
Look forward to doing business and seeing you on the calls in the future. So, all right, who's got another question? Okay, Lorraine.
Mine would be for Ruth Ann. Can I ask Ruth Ann a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, Ruth Ann, so the first time I was on, you was talking about first time home buyers. So my question is, like, are you only in Dallas? Can you do Houston also?
Absolutely. All over the state.
Okay, then. I'll contact you later with the information.
Great.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nigel, where do you reside at? Where's your main focus at?
I currently live in North Richland Hills.
Okay.
And so that's where I want my focus to be, kind of central Fort Worth. But currently I'm all over the place.
Okay. Well, as a realtor, I would expect that. As an investor, I don't know what everybody's thoughts is on this, but 21 years ago, I started this business and I didn't have a REI group or a network initially. I jumped in on a set of free tickets to a Round the Grand event 21 years ago. It wasn't because I was encouraged or told about it from somebody local, but I didn't have anybody to point me in the right direction on this, what I'm about to say. But when I jumped in, I thought I was going to take over the world. And I started marketing with no boundaries. And I was getting leads from all over the country and contacts and stuff. I just found that extremely hard, not to mention, I didn't know anything about pay-per-click ads and stuff like that. And I spent a lot of money that was a waste. So my point of the comment is that I would encourage you all to think about what you call your farm area. You're new in this business. A realtor, yes, you're going to go all over the place wherever customers are at. But when you're talking about marketing for your real estate investment business, that side of the business, I would encourage you to pick a farm area, which is a farm area means someplace that's easy for you to go, typically around where you work or your home, so that you can go there frequently, drive neighborhoods, get to know the neighborhoods and master the values, what's happening there, what kind of homes they are, what are they selling for, are they being rehabbed and fixed, and sold, or are they being occupied as rentals, just what's going on in that farm area. And then once you master that area, then you can start adding others. And that's just my opinion. 21 years later, I just think that you can become the master of that area first, and then just start broadening your market area from there. These people that advertise and promote doing virtual investing all across the country, do people do it? Yes. Is it very easy? No. How many people fail? I bet you there's a bunch, and we'll never know what those numbers are. There's a big trust factor there. You have to have a power team in all those areas that you're going to do business in my opinion. And, that's just hard. Yes, there's a lot of technology out there today to be able to help you compared to 21 years ago. But I just think that you've heard the saying, how do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. Just take that one bite at a time. Okay. So the last thing I want anybody to do, and we see it all the time, there's a lot of people get in this business and fail. There's a lot of people get in this business and don't stick around very long. I don't want you to get in the business and quit. I want you to get in it to be successful. And, 21 years later, I'm still here. I'm not doing, 50 deals a month, but I'm still here doing the business. And, there's a lot of things along the way that you can learn in this group. And I just don't want anybody to fail. It does you no good to spend a lot of money and time and energy and then turn around and drop out of the business. And I see it all the time. Just looking at my buyers list, people join my buyers list today, gone tomorrow, or send them a deal next week and the email bounces. So you can tell that there's a lot of people that get in and out very quickly. So any questions on that at all?
Yeah, Tim, I got a question. So I feel like this question would probably be good for other people to listen to the answer as well. But in my situation, I've got access to some capital through family connections, and it's around 100,000 or less. But if you were in my shoes as somebody who's just starting off, what would be your steps to acquire a seller finance property?
So, we don't have a business at all if we don't have leads, right? I mean, no matter how much money you have, if we don't have leads, we have no business. And I think I said this on the last call. I'm planning on making the 2022 group meetings focus on lead generation and trying to everything to do with marketing, talking to sellers, writing offers that get accepted, and try and increase the number of deals in 2022. But it all starts with lead generation. So I would really start with focusing on, studying marketing and becoming familiar with all different marketing strategies and implement those things. There's a million of them, by the way. But again, eat the elephant one bite at a time. Go figure out, look at, and we can talk about this, but go figure out what all the different avenues for marketing are, what's working today, what's not, and start eating that elephant one bite at a time by going and implementing one strategy, getting good at it. If you can put it on autopilot, put it on autopilot, and then move on to the next strategy. But with the money you have, that money, I'm a big guy or big believer in leveraging other people's money, right? Keeping the cash you have as much as possible. I know you heard this from Ron LeGrand, and it's never, you are at a much higher risk anytime you start shelling out cash in a house. Even though the market today is super strong for selling a house, if you get cash tied up in that house and the market crashes, or you make some bad decisions, you're new in the business and you don't know what you're doing, and you make a bad decision about how to rehab it, how much to pay for it, all that stuff, and you can't get your money back out, you've lost a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a lot of wholesale opportunities, not as near as many as there used to be. And of course, that doesn't take much money, right? But my focus, and you'll hear this a lot from me, is utilizing the buying houses subject to strategy. And that's taken over the mortgage debt. And to further be more specific is the pre-foreclosure opportunities out there. These houses that have not been paying their mortgage payments and been in forbearance, because of COVID, not just COVID, but COVID has a big impact here. Those people that are still in trouble, if they don't get a job and get caught up on those payments, they're going to end up losing that house to foreclosure. We want to be in front of those people. You want to market, learn all the marketing strategies to put your name, your message in front of those sellers that are in trouble.
Tim?
Yes.
I have a question. I know you mentioned several times about marketing strategies. Can you give us a couple of examples of marketing strategies?
Sure. So, there's a lot of different things out there today. There's, of course, everybody knows about social media. And I do some social media, but I am by far not an expert on how to generate leads with social media. I think it's a necessary thing. You have to go do it. But the things that I know do work are things like a website, a blog, where you're educating sellers on how to prevent foreclosure, and how you buy houses fast, how you can help them. So blog is one. You can do direct mail. That's a very well-known, well-used strategy. You know, some people will tell you it doesn't work. It does work. But when you start doing direct mail, you know, for most new investors, money's a little tight. And, you know, what you don't want to do is come in and waste the money, whether you have a lot of money or not. But with direct mail, what you want to do is make sure you're targeting the most likely seller candidate, right? And just to kind of prove the point, you don't want to go in and do what I call shotgun marketing and mail to every address in a zip code, because so many people in that zip code today just bought or sold a house, right? I mean, there's a high turnover right now. So what good does it do you to send them a stop foreclosure message or we buy homes in probate type of message? What good does it do that when those people just bought a house? You know, so you're wasting your money. To go the far extreme of that, you take a pre-foreclosure list. Well, we know if they're on that pre-foreclosure list, they've missed at least one payment. That's what put them on that pre-foreclosure list. They've missed at least one payment. And if you go out to them and market to that person with the right message and having the right call to action on your marketing, your postcard or email, whatever way you're reaching out to them. And of course, you can deliver your message via direct mail or email or text messaging nowadays, right? So there's a number of methods like that to deliver your message, but you want to target the right list. You know, pre-foreclosures, inherited properties. Right now, we have a very high death rate because of COVID, right? There's always deaths, but it's even higher now because of COVID. So you want to, there's a probate list. You know, you want to market to that probate list. Again, postcards, emails, text messaging, those are all ways of reaching those people, in addition to having a blog page that helps educate people on who you are and what you do and how you can help them in their particular situation. So you want to do,
Where's your office located?
I think you need to diversify what you're doing. Don't rely on one thing. Don't do just direct mail. Don't do just email marketing. Don't do just a blog. Don't do just driving neighborhoods. You know, driving neighborhoods is another good way to find deals. But again, you know, you want to do all these different things. You can't drive that neighborhood 24/7. You know, you want to also implement things that work for you 24/7. That's where your website comes in. That's where posting classified ads come in. You know, that you buy houses in any condition, any circumstances, whatever your message is, when you post that ad, that's going to work for you 24/7. So you want to do those kinds of things so that, you know, not everybody is going to go read a web page. Not everybody is going to read the postcard or letter. Not everybody responds the same way. You know, some people are never going to leave you a voicemail. Some people may not even listen to your voicemail. I have 10 voicemail, niche voicemails set up on my office phone. So I advertise certain extension numbers. So if they want the main number, it's one. If they want, you know, probate, it's another one. If it's an investor, it's another number. If it's an owner finance buyer or a renter, then, you know, I have all these different extension numbers. Some people will never play those messages. That's just the way people are. That's why you have to give them options and different ways to respond to you, whether it's an email, a text. A lot more people do text today, but not everybody. Give them a form to fill out on a web page. Everybody's different. So you want to do all those different things and diversify your marketing, diversify on how people can respond to you. And if you're spending money to make the phone ring, you better answer the phone. Because if they make the phone ring, they call and you don't answer, guess what they're doing? They're calling the next person. Okay. So, you'll hear people talk about that, and I've had it happen to me. My challenge is I get a bazillion telemarketer calls and spam calls. How do you get any work done when you have so many spam and telemarketer calls? So you just have to deal with that and try and control it the best you can. And if you could have somebody answering calls live every day, or a VA answering those calls for you, then that you stand a better chance of weeding out the spam and the trash. My other problem now is I use direct mail, and I have a phone number that's a tracking number. So they call a certain number. I know what campaign that direct mail came from and that response came from. My problem is the telemarketers have got a hold of that tracking number. So now they're calling all these tracking numbers, which is totally blowing all my responses to the mail campaign. And it's just full of spam. So did that help? Okay. So, there's a lot of things you can do. One of the, for the members on the call, if you haven't already done this, you can go into the My Downloads area, and there's a free report in there called 89 Ways to Find Wholesale Deals. And if you haven't already looked at that, you should print that off and review it and make comments on it, on what you can do and what's a little harder, what you'd like to do first, and just start implementing one at a time. And it's not a how-to type of thing, how to go implement them, but it's the ideas, the things that you need to look at and consider to go generate leads for your business. Again, if you can't master the lead generation, and I'll be honest with you, it's tougher today than it's ever been. I'm not getting near the responses that I have in the past. So, it's a battle for me as well. And, but I don't give up on anything. So we're trying different things, and I would encourage you to do the same thing. What else? Anybody doing direct mail now? Anybody doing social media?
I am doing direct mail, but not for investment. Like, again, this is really, really new for me, but I do direct mail for my clients. I also do social media. So this will be a different route for me to do those things, but in a different aspect.
Are you having success with your realtor clients, generating leads?
I feel like I'm now in a place where I'm starting to get more referrals.
Okay.
And that's where you want to be. I'm going into my 4th year of real estate, and I feel like I'm getting to that place where people are referring their, parents, their friends, their family.
Yep. Yeah, referrals is a good thing. That's been known for a long time, that referrals is one of your best types of leads. And I know for me, if I've had a referral, it's an easy deal, because whoever referred them to me, has already told them about us and what we do and how we can help and stuff. And you know, we just deal with a lot of different clientele than what you deal with as a realtor. And, but that doesn't mean you can't tweak your advertising a little bit of what you're doing to emphasize more of the problem properties, you know, distressed sellers, distressed houses type of message instead of the retail type message.
Sure.
So.
I do have a question. The family has a plot of land that we've been sitting on it for a couple of years, basically just paying the taxes on it. We want to eventually turn it into a livable space, maybe like a duplex or something like that, where it's an income generating type of property. Right now, it's just a plot of land. How do you go about navigating that process to taking a plot of land to a livable space where it's generating income?
So I'm probably not the right guy to ask that question because I've not built new construction. If you'll get with me afterwards or another day, I'll point you to somebody. I got to get their info and stuff, but I know somebody else that is doing new construction and they may be able to help you through that.
Okay.
I'm not doing land or new construction, and I'm not doing commercial right now, although I'm starting to investigate multifamily again. So.
Gotcha.
We have interim financing for investors up to 4 units as one of our new products. I haven't had anyone ready to use it yet. It just is brand new, but we do have it.
Multifamily?
Up to 4 units.
How big is your piece of land?
It's a residential plot, not that big, in the historic South Side area between 2 homes. I know it's zoned for residential. I just don't know where to start to try to do something, try to make a plan for the plot.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see if I can get you in touch with somebody.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. What else? So watch for the future monthly meeting announcements. I do, like I said, I do plan to get it on the calendar to start focusing on, you know, marketing. That event is always a very well attended event when I've done it in the past because it is so critical. Again, if we can't generate leads, we don't have any business at all. So we'll do that, and then we'll get into some, you know, visiting sellers, talking to sellers, you know, what to ask, going out and inspecting the home, you know, doing a walkthrough of the house and stuff like that, just to, you know, get people comfortable with, you know, what to look at, what to look for. The big challenge that we have also today, as far as evaluating deals, not just the comps. A lot of people don't understand comps and how to evaluate them, but it's a moving target today. You know, the comps are changing so rapidly, but then you combine that with rehab costs, and, you know, it's really tough because material cost is gotten so high and crazy. And of course, a lot of the contractors are taking advantage of that too, and their prices are going up. So, you know, if you don't have a plan when you buy that house and you drag your feet at all, which means delay, which, you know, every day a delay is additional holding costs to you, then, you know, it can eat up your profits pretty darn quick. So, you know, it's important to have the power team. Who are you going to work with? Who's your contractors? Who's all the subs you're going to be working with? You know, is the plan in place? Are they ready to start? You know, I've had several deals over the years that didn't start right away, and it took 2 to 4 weeks. Well, that is money. And, some people think that is okay in today's market because home values keep going up and up and up. But Najee, you probably know this as well as anybody on the call. Those prices aren't going up anymore like they were, and homes aren't selling as fast as they were. I'm on a list to receive new listings and stuff, and I see those daily, and they're just, I'm seeing a lot of the same houses still sitting there as an active listing, and although the prices are ridiculously high, they seem to have leveled off a bit, and people aren't given multiple offers like they were. And, that's, if things were still climbing like crazy, then you might be able to make up for the holding costs if you had to hold on to that property a month before you ever started, right? You might be able to make up for it on the other end by the time you're done with it if the values continue to climb. And that did that to me about a year ago on another house. But that isn't always the case. And you certainly don't want to go into a deal like that expecting that to happen. You don't want to gamble that the prices are going to continue to go up, because you just don't know if that's going to happen. So you have to have a plan. You got to get started right away, and you got to get it done as quick as you can so it's on the market and you can get it sold. The last flip rehab I did took longer than ever. It took me 5 months, and part of that was due to the freeze last February. But I still made out like a bandit. It sold for $35,000 over asking price. But I had a lot of additional holding costs in there. That house should have been gone in 3 months, maybe closer to 2, but it was 5.
I heard you mention, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was tickled to death at $35,000 over asking, especially in Meadowbrook. I never expected the house to even sell. We listed at $195, never thought for a minute it would ever sell for that, let alone $230. So go ahead.
Pretty nice profit. I was going to say, I've heard you mention about having your team ready to go when you purchase these homes. What would a typical investment team look like? I know, so like when we purchased our home, we kind of struggled. It's older homes, so we knew that we had to come in and do work, but we did a lot of price comparison. So we started off with the contractor. I feel like the contractor have way higher prices than just piecing together your vendors. So I know a contractor is probably the best bet because they have all of the pieces that you're gonna need to rehab your home, right? So what's a typical team? What would you say a typical investment team consists of?
So can you see my webpage?
Yes.
So the first thing I would tell you is that, we have our group sponsors right here under the resources, and in here, we have a servicing company for financing. We have a note buyer. We have property manager. We have hard money lender, Odell Roofing. So we have a roofing contractor here, and we have Real Estate IQ for data. So we have all these places. There's Ruth Ann and Service First Mortgage, and title company, another very important part. So we have all these resources for you to use. And I would recommend you start there as part of your power team, getting to know those people so when you need them, you can. I'm looking for new contractors to add to our sponsors list, but Your power team is lenders, title company, any type of contractors that you're going to need for doing rehabs. You know, whether that's a handyman service or a full-blown general contractor that does all rehabs, or if you break it down, if you're going to sub it yourself or GC it yourself, and you're going to have a roofer, an HVAC guy, a plumber, an electrician, you want to establish those kind of relationships, because if you wait to go, if you find the deal first and then need to get the estimates for your rehab and for your purchase, then you're probably going to miss out on that deal, or you're going to have to do some guesstimation yourself, and that may or may not work out for you. We have tools in the group to help you with that. Our website, all members get a free website with their membership, but then there's a premium upgrade that members can purchase for minimal fee that allows for rehab estimates and general analysis and offer generation stuff. But that would help you with doing those estimates as you're walking through the house. But you still have to have a general understanding of the cost and what material costs and labor costs are doing in today's market. So it's a constant battle. I can tell you, in 21 years, I just lost my rehab contractor after 4 to 5 years of using them. Hit the GC and all the troops got in a big tiff over something, and all the troops quit, and his business shut down. He went out of business. And that hurts after building a relationship, getting to know one another. After 5 years, 4 to 5 years, that really hurt to lose that resource. So now I'm back to the drawing board. I just tested one again on a house in Burleson, and they talked a good story, but they failed miserably, and they're not getting my recommendation. I was hoping that we could get them into the group as a sponsor, but I will not recommend them in the group, because if they can't take care of me as the group leader,
Right.
how do I expect them to take care of you as a new investor? I'm not going to let them pull the wool over my eyes, and I don't want them to do that to you. I'm very protective of the members, and only want the best sponsors that you can trust with your grandmother, right? Right, Ruth Ann? You've heard that a few times, right? So my grandmother rule applies to the new sponsors. We only want sponsors that we can trust, that if you sent your grandmother to that sponsor, they're going to take care of grandma just like they would take care of you. And we've had a good reputation of doing that. So, and those people that didn't want to cooperate completely, they're not sponsors. So we try and take care of everybody and make sure that you're not the next news report. You hear hailstorm comes in, all the roofers come out of the woodwork. They come in and they take your deposits, they go door knocking, and they take your down payment towards replacing the roof, and you never see them again. So, but unfortunately, it's a tough challenge trying to get people that want to be involved in the group and be a sponsor. And some of them don't have the time to come to the meetings and stuff. And, that's their loss, because it's a good area, good place for somebody to be as sponsors. Ruth Ann's been with us for, gee whiz, how long's it been, Ruth Ann? Probably.
Well, I think probably 9 or 10 years.
Yeah, it's pretty darn close.
Mm-hmm.
And we have several others too that are right behind you. So, but does that answer your question about sponsor, about power team? You've got to have people, and try to. Having just one set of contractors isn't the right answer either. I'm out in Weatherford, and if I'm talking to a contractor in Dallas, they might be good at what they do, but I know darn well the cost is going up for them to come to Weatherford. So you almost got to have, geographically established contractors, and You know, that's a lot of dead time, road time, trying to make travel like that. I've done them down in Granbury. You know, that was a lot of road time for those guys back and forth every day to Granbury from Fort Worth. So you got to kind of keep that in mind too. I have a lot of different contractors in my real flow account, but and I document where they're at and stuff, and whether or not I've used them or not used them. And they just are not people that, you know, want to join the group as a sponsor, or I don't want them to join as a sponsor. So, all right, what else? Okay. Nothing, huh? So, Andrew, what did you got any aha moments from Ron's class?
Yeah, I think personally, it was my aha moment was that after this semester, I'll be excited to go full-time. But being a full-time student and a full-time employee, full-time accountant, I just can't commit to, you know, running all in for being an investor at the moment. But I'm excited for when that opportunity is going to come in May. And until then, just trying to educate myself and, you know, be as plugged in as possible. But as far as like the material he was teaching, it just kind of echoed the fact that there is so much information to learn and so much to really start learning now, so that when I'm ready to actually commit, I'll have a much better understanding as far as the process and everything.
And, you know, that's a very good point, you know, and I'm still learning at 21 years. So, you know, if you're not learning, you're not engaged in it. And you also, you know, there's so many different areas that you could go into. You know, do you want to be just a wholesaler? Do you want to only buy at the courthouse steps and pay all cash and go rehab a house? You know, if you have the money, can you afford to buy that house and then just turn it into a rental property? You know, do you want to go do multifamily? Do you want to do duplexes only? Do you want to buy subject to the underlying mortgage and sell them on owner finance wraparound mortgages? You know, there's so many little areas like that that really do warrant in-depth study so that you become the expert on it. You know,
Can I ask a follow-up question on that?
sure.
So I do want to focus on seller financing and also the subject to. Where would you suggest that I start? I mean, obviously there's some teaching material on the website with subject to, but you know, my plan is when I have a full day to dedicate to learning, to message you about that, because I think you have to unlock it, right?
Well, it's the yes. So the what you're referring to is in the members area in the past meeting files.
Right.
We make the past 6 months of training available for you to go back and watch, download, listen. You got video, audio, and the forms. If you go beyond the 6 months, what you're referring to is it's expired and you can't just go in and click on it. If you call me or email me when you're going to be ready, I can release it to you for another 24 hours, but you have to be ready to go do it in that 24 hours. Download it and listen to it that way. So, you know, there is a couple different training sessions in there related to subject to. I have somebody that's trying to convince me to do another subject to workshop. And although it's not firmed up, it's probably going to be April sometime. And there is a subject to course on the group site that you can purchase. That way you can study that anytime. But that course, it has not only, it's a full day of video and audio, as well as all the documentation, the presentation material, but it also includes all the forms for you to use to buy a house subject to. So it does not cover the sales side with owner finance. It does not cover the purchase with owner finance. It's just buying the house subject to and taking over that mortgage. So very critical strategy. That's how I grew my business. I love teaching that strategy. Very, very, very popular and is used every day across the country. I'm sure that if you Googled a lot of stuff, you probably would find it as well. I would caution you there, though, to make sure that it's not for California, Alaska, Maryland, something like that. You want Texas specific strategies. The general concept works across the country, but there's some unique things about Texas, and you have to make sure you know that. So there's a lot of stuff out there. I love teaching that strategy. You're going to hear some of that throughout the year this year, because it's going to come into play with all these pre-foreclosures that we have out there. And that's where a lot of your subject to type deals come from, is a pre-foreclosure scenario. Doesn't mean that they'll all be in default. I've bought a lot of subject to deals over the years from people with good credit, and their payments were current, and they were looking for a solution. They might have had a job transfer or military transfer, and they couldn't afford 2 payments, and they were worried about trying to take on a second payment at their new duty station or new place of employment. So they were looking for a solution, and that's where you've got to learn to master that and create your story so you know what to tell people on how you can help them. And you have to not be afraid of the worst case scenario. What if your buyer defaults? What if the house is damaged? Who's going to pay for it? What are you going to do? How are you going to get the house back? How are you going to deal with that? You have to be able to explain all those things to them. So, but that's a great strategy. We'll probably do an owner finance class, how to buy with owner finance, how to structure those offers. That's another great strategy. And even though this is a seller's market and homes are selling fast, not all sellers need the money.
Yeah.
And we can show you how you can pay more for a house than what it's worth and still make money. And it's all about how you structure that offer to get their attention, so that the seller understands the benefit of selling that house to you with owner finance. Cool strategies, but it takes some work, it takes some study, it takes some creativity. And the one thing you have to remember is they won't always say no. You have to understand their predicament, their situation, and provide a solution that solves their problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll definitely get with you when I have some time about, unlocking prior ones.
Okay. So I made comment earlier about I'm definitely one for learning how to leverage other people's money. And I learned that from Ron. And, one of the first things I heard Ron say that stuck in my mind was, if you don't write a check, you can't lose money. And you probably heard Ron say that too, Andrew, last week. But if you don't write a check, you can't lose money. And that's what it's all about, is learning how to structure those deals to minimize. I'm not saying you won't ever spend money, but to minimize the amount of money you put into that deal, which minimizes your risk. If you go pay all cash for that house, your risk just went up. And there's times it's well worth that risk, right? This business is all about risk versus reward.
What's a good email for you, Tim?
It is info@West DFW REI Group.com. And again, you can go to that contact us QR code up there in the top left of my screen and scan that, and that'll take you right to the contact us page. Okay, so we are now at an hour.
Thanks for the call.
You bet. Hopefully this is all helpful to everyone. I'm not sure, we had a few other folks register for it and they didn't get checked in, which is fine. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. Andrew, I'm not sure if you saw my email, Ruth Ann did, but I caught COVID and I think it was the Ron event that I caught it. I'm not positive.
Fine.
And I'm fine. I mean, I came down with the symptoms the Saturday after Ron's event, and symptoms were very little, scratchy throat. And within a 7-day period of time, I had scratchy throat, sneezing for a couple of days, runny nose a couple of days, coughing for a couple of days, lost my smell and taste. One day I had fever, but I'm not sure it was. It might have been just I covered up too much, for too long. But I've been fine. I've felt fine. I'm over it. I did test positive on that Wednesday, but it's all past me, and just like I never even knew I had it. So
Sounds like a good Marine right there.
what's that?
So it sounds like he gave it the Marine Corps treatment.
That's right. Stand up, shake it off, and move on. So, but yeah, not everybody's so lucky, unfortunately, but so doing pretty good. Hope everybody there's doing well and staying safe and healthy. And so any last minute questions, comments, anything at all?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Ruth Ann, for your support again, as usual. Okay, well, I'm going to let everybody go then. This for the members, these calls get recorded and saved to the members area of your website. If anybody has a question about membership or what's on the website, you can go to the group page and just click on the membership area right here and just see all the members' benefits. But that'll give you a good rundown of what it's all about and what you get and the benefits of it. So, all righty. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to let you go. Everybody stay safe, stay warm. Man, is it cold? It's going to be colder tonight, tomorrow morning. So I'm ready to go back to that 79. What was it? Just 3 days?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, everybody.
All right, have a good one.
Have a great day. Thanks again.